Boys, are we ready to talk zombies?
Yes, we are. The reason why I wanted to do this episode, I mean, like when it comes to zombies, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go. There's a lot of different types of zombies. Like there's the 34, 38, 50. There's
the Aku Aku zombie, and then
there's a Trader Vic zombie. But what I wanted to do today is I got this bottle of B.G. Reynolds Zombie Punch, and to make a zombie with it, all you do is you literally add it's like 3 ounces of the mix and 1.5 ounces of an overproof rum. That's it. And then there's this just came out here, the Hamilton Zombie Blend
from Beach Bum Berry.
Where the idea is you make the zombie and you literally just use this rum as opposed to trying to put. Well, how many different rums are in a standard 34?
Normally it's going to be 3 rums. It's going to be a Demerara Overproof, a Jamaican, and a Gold Puerto Rican.
Yes. And the thing is, like seriously, like I've never made a 34 zombie at home because it's so complicated. I mean, it's like 11 ingredients or something like that.
By the time you're done, it's the whole countertop.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, I am lazy. I will admit it, Joel. And I was impressed with this thing where it's like, oh wow, all you got to do is just add this and rum. I could do that. Or even like with this, just 1 rum. Okay.
Instead of having to measure and blend multiple rums.
Yeah, it's. So I'm curious to see. This is what we're gonna do. We're going to do a 34 zombie. Jason's going to make us the traditional 34 zombie.
I'm going to try to stay as close as I can to a 1934 recipe, given the ingredients, readily available.
But using real juices, real citrus.
Yeah, using fresh limes. I will be using canned white grapefruit because fresh white grapefruit, it's for the comparison, I thought it'd be kind of unfair to use fresh on that one only.
Yeah, and this one here, there is the recipe to do the zombie on the back, but it's pretty much...
Yeah, well, I'm sticking with that recipe. I think it's a 2-ounce pour.
Yeah,
because it's not going to be as strong as a 1934, much like the B.G. Reynolds is not going to be as strong as, but it's supposed to have a similar flavor profile, and the idea is maybe you can drink a few more of these in one night.
Yeah, exactly, because usually like 1 zombie will knock me out. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the zombie punch with the regular Hamilton 151, and then if we're still up and talking and we're still upright, maybe we'll try this with this.
If we're not done stunt livering yet, we'll Frankenstein those two together and see what kind of magic happens.
If we can get to that point.
There are so many zombies out there. And there was a time, mid-century through, I think, the 80s, where any bar that wanted to make something with a lot more citrus in it that was pretty much a Long Island iced tea style beverage called it a zombie if they were a tropical bar in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So the zombie recipe, while there is a codified historic zombie, many bars like a Mai-Tai, it was whatever you wanted it to be.
It's a kitchen sink drink.
Yeah, the only thing is that it had to be potent and something that you limited the amount that you drink.
And Joel, honestly, from what I understand, Don Beach himself said, this is his exact words, he goes, my zombie is like the Long Island iced tea of tiki drinks. I have a feeling that using this rum blend, the Beach Bum Berry Zombie blend, is going to make the superior zombie.
So I took a whiff of it, and the flavor is perfect.
And the thing I've noticed with the 34 is just like you're saying, you have 3 different rums that you got to put in there. Well, that's 3 different rums that can go in any
direction. But there's
direction.
A lot of variation.
Like a lot of variation.
Traditionally, it was always a Lemon Heart 151, but talks from Martin Cate and other experts seem to indicate that Lemon Heart 151 was a somewhat different flavor profile in the 1930s and through the mid-century, and that eventually to go with what the customers seemed to want, it kind of it made it a little milder, rounded it off. And then in more recent years, we've had the Hamilton 151 and the OFTD come out that are supposed to have more of that sort of woo-ha bang pow that the Lemon Heart 151 once had.
No, and we've tested them.
And don't get me wrong, I enjoy Lemon Heart 151, and I've used it in many cocktails, but by themselves, back to back, I like the Hamilton and the OFTD a little bit better for the kind of more complex combustible flavor.
Absolutely, and as the story, the mythology goes, is that, I guess, what's the mythology of the zombie?
I think the original story was something about a businessman with a hangover that needed to get through the day and said, "Hey, barkeep, mix me something." And Don Beach gave him a zombie, but it wasn't called yet. He was like, "This is an experiment I'm working on, just try this." And the guy came back the next day and he said, "How'd you like it?" And it was something to the effect of it made me feel like a zombie all day.
Yeah. And what I heard about the mythology story too is like actually when he asked for a drink, he actually asked if he could make him a Long Island iced tea, and He said and Don B said he didn't know how. So
There's the callback.
It was like that. It was like, how do I do it? It hasn't been invented yet, sir. Let me make you something fresh.
That's what I do as Jason's talking all the facts. I'm just thinking of like what stupid joke I can
How
come
you
up
can mess with whatever I was talking about when I'm trying to stay accurate and you're just trying to make people laugh. So the zombie is probably the original stunt drink.
Well, it definitely is. And the idea is they were like, okay, limit 2.
Yeah, it was limit 2 per customer. It was, if not the most expensive, one of the most expensive drinks on the menu. Yeah. And the idea was
back then it was $1.35. You know,
if you're worth your salt, so to speak, then you're going to have 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
Because who would just have one when you're only allowed 2?
Well, personally, me, I'm usually good with having one zombie, but like
zombie,
not today. Today we're going to be stunt living.
Yeah, traditionally the zombie is a great way to start the evening because it gets you up where you want to be. Then it's just a matter of maintenance.
Yeah, usually I get that first and then work our way down.
If you've already been drinking all night, then you throw in a zombie. Well, now you're in for adventures you may not expect.
I have been there.
Yeah, I think we all have. The first zombie that Jason's going to make us, you're going to make us a
true
classic 34 zombie.
I'm going to try to make the traditional 1934 zombie, and we're not going to go over all the details here, but you can flash it up on the screen through the magic of editing. And yeah, we'll do that first, and I'm going to use a stick blender and try to use as much fresh ingredients as I can, minus the white grapefruit from a can.
All right, cool. Well, Jason, go make
Pitter patter.
Go make
Pitter patter.
Let's get at her. This is the true traditional 34 zombie.
So yeah, I tried to keep as close as I could, and as a display, we put out almost all the ingredients minus the ice and a little bit of garnish. This uses the Don Zombie or Don's number 2.
Yeah, Don's mix.
Anyway, it's white grapefruit juice, 2-to-1 with cinnamon syrup.
Yep. Well, I am curious to try this. Thank you for making these. Jason.
Oh, you're very welcome. I don't make these very often because it takes an entire countertop to make a freaking 1934 zombie.
Salute. That is a tasty
It's
drink.
in there.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
It's all in there.
I could see why these could be a problem. They can go down very easy.
So you got a tiny hint of the Pernod or absinthe. If you taste a lot of that, it's off.
Remember, if you can taste my opinion, if you can taste the Pernod, you fail. And I don't taste it. There's a presence there, but it's not that.
And then there's a tiny bit of pomegranate or grenadine. And once again, if that's a strong flavor, you did too much.
God damn, this is great.
But what I did is I did a double and then split it 3 ways because we got multiple drinks to do in a fairly short amount of time.
Yeah,
so
this isn't even
I
harsh
figured
or
about,
anything like that.
I figured about 3/4 of a zombie was good for each of us.
Yeah, so the rums that you use Hamilton 151.
Yes.
The regular one.
Yes. Standard Hamilton 151.
The Don Q.
Which is a Demerara overproof. The Don Q, which is your gold Puerto Rican. And I use Jamaica as a gold Jamaican.
You can't go wrong with the Jamaica rum.
So as far as a standard proof, I think the Jamaica is a fine rum for mixing with.
Yeah.
I'll also use Smith & Cross, but Smith & Cross is a little higher output. Its alcohol percentage is a little bit higher.
What do you think?
I think it's fantastic. It's really good.
So yeah, I could drink these all night if somebody else was making them.
No, just give me one. I'm good. I'm like I cut myself off with one zombie, but I'm making an exception for today since we're.
Well, if I read correctly, that was part of the concept of the B.G. Reynolds mix and the Beach Bum Berry mix, that you could have more than 2 of them and not be fully snockered, but still get the pleasure of drinking a zombie.
Yeah, yeah. This is what. So this is you made a double. And you split between 3 of us?
Yes.
Okay.
So a regular zombie is going to have 1.5 ounces each of the gold the gold Jamaican and the gold Puerto Rican, and a full ounce of overproof Demerara, usually 151. And then on top of that, you got a little Falernum. I like the John D. Taylor, which has a little alcohol in it. Mm-hmm. And then you got a few drops of Pernod in there, which that's also got it. Then you got a few dashes of Angostura, which also has a little more alcohol. So by the time you're done, you've got well above 4 ounces of rum going on.
And I'm going to say this, and I mean everyone has their own opinion on my opinion. I recommend if you're going to use Pernod. Use Pernod. Don't use absinthe. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because Pernod is sweet to begin with. It's essentially like the absinthe with the sugar already added.
So the absinthes you've tried are generally more bitter.
Oh, they're real bitter.
Yeah.
Drier.
So the idea is you have your absinthe and you add the sugar to it and water for that matter. So if you think you're being clever by just using the absinthe instead of Pernod, I think it's going to alter the drink and not in a good way. Yeah. There's Herbsant, but I've tasted Herbsant by itself and Pernod by itself. Again, Herbsant was more harsher, where Pernod really smooth.
Yeah,
but for those who are unfamiliar with it, all of these are basically licorice flavored, anise flavored.
Yeah, black licorice, anise flavored. So I recommend using Pernod for the drink.
I think we should get the other zombie going before these get all watered down and melty, because I do want to taste some side
You realize
by side.
I just finished working, and I really want to get a few sips in first.
So
back to the kitchen.
Yeah, let's keep it. Let's
keep this train running. So next up,
Plus, we want to have you as sober as possible
to make the drinks.
to make the more complicated drinks. So when you're half toasted,
Well, that's
doing
why
the BJ Reynolds, it's like 3 ounces, an ounce, and a half.
That's why we started with this, because this was 10 to 12 different ingredients, trying to make sure that everything was doubled correctly and split evenly.
It's such a hard, and that's the thing about a 34 zombie.
There's a lot to go wrong.
There's a lot to go wrong, and to me, I've always felt like if someone can make a 34 zombie and pull it off, and it's great tasting, you win in my book, because there's a lot of room for error. And
and there's just so much variety within the rums and stuff that you could have, like the various flavors of Jamaican rums versus various
I have to say,
Demerara
almost
rums.
every time that I've made a zombie, I've used a different blend of rums.
yeah, and it is
Because I don't make zombies very often because there's just so much involved.
Yeah, and it will alter. Every one of those rums will alter the taste of the drink for the better or for the worst. So the idea for the next drink is
We'll do the Beach Bum Berry mix using Hamilton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, the Hamilton Beach Bum Berry mix rum, and his recipe.
Is it the same or is it different?
It's the Hamilton rum zombie blend, which was curated by Jeff Beach Bum Berry, is 2 ounces of their blend, 3/4 ounce of lime juice, half ounce of grapefruit, grapefruit juice, white grapefruit juice, half ounce of falernum, half ounce of cinnamon, dash to 8 drops, 6 or 8 drops of Pernod.
Grenadine and
Angostura.
So it's all the same ingredients.
So it's all.
It really is.
It seems to me they kind of.
It's
balance
the same ingredients, but it's a little simplified.
Yeah, they simplified it a little bit. So
So
essentially,
it makes it a little quicker and easier. Your counter is only 3/4 full as opposed to absolutely.
But really, what's happening is you're taking all 3 of these rums and putting it in one bottle.
Right.
He
did the math and the flavor profiles and got it down to a single rum blend to try and give you the flavor profile you should get from 3 blends, which honestly, bars that feature zombies usually have a batch of their zombie blend of rum ready to go, because otherwise it takes too long to make the drinks. You saw how long it took me to make these.
Yeah, we watched The Godfather while you made it. But I'll say this, Jason, much appreciated.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect zombie. It did a great job. There's no question.
It was fantastic.
This is what a zombie should taste like, and you knocked it out of the park.
Thank you. So this is our zombie using the Hamilton Zombie Blend from Jeff Beach Bum Berry. So there's a little sample glass right there. Make sure you don't confuse it with your Eldorado 12.
Let's try this.
It's actually really good on its own.
I like it on its own. It's a little on the hot side, but very flavorful.
It definitely has It definitely has some burn on it, but it's the flavor is fantastic.
Is it 151?
I have to look at the proof on it again. I didn't double check.
It was I think it's 59%.
Yeah, it is a higher proof. I think like 118 or something like that, but it's not a 151.
It's not a full overproof. Yeah, 59% by volume.
So it's actually less than OFTD, and it's not a 151 for sure.
That is not a bad rum by itself.
It's not at all.
I do like it.
Because normally any 151 rums just taste like fire.
Yeah.
Some of the magic with the zombie is that when it sits on the table, the flavor gets more complex as it dilutes and things mix together.
Yeah.
So
you made this is.
I made this per the Beach Bum specs for his cocktail.
That's on the back.
Yes, it's on the back of the bottle.
It's on the back, and this is just the rum, just his rum.
Yes, just 2 ounces of his rum for a full pour. So it was 4 ounces split 3 ways.
But all the other non-alcoholic ingredients are essentially the same.
They're the same, but the ingredients are
proportions.
tweaked per Jeff Beach Bum Berry's taste.
Okay, well,
And if anybody knows about the zombie in our modern era, I think he's
That's the guy.
he's at the top.
He's gonna be the guy. So here we go.
All right, zombies up, boys.
No, that's very different. It's
The cinnamon's definitely more
the
forward.
cinnamon is definitely more forward in it. This is
The cinnamon is definitely more forward, but smoother though.
Yeah, because his
smoother.
recipe calls for a half ounce of cinnamon, so I used a full ounce of my cinnamon syrup split up, and it does definitely come forward more. But I enjoy it.
It's good, but it's a different drink. It's not the same.
You think so?
I
go
do.
back here.
I wouldn't.
I would definitely call them related, but yeah, the cinnamon is much more forward because it's a larger amount. Because when you think about it, so you've only got a half ounce of the mix that is 1 to 2 cinnamon to grapefruit. on the original zombie. So the cinnamon is
original,
definitely
yeah,
more
there is-
prevalent.
It's much more citrusy. The lime is much bigger player in the original.
The 34, the original 34 definitely has more body to it.
So I would say, a lot of ways, the 34 is more balanced. I enjoy cinnamon flavored cocktails.
It is a little sweeter too.
Yeah, frequenting the Devil's Reef, you get used to a cinnamon forward flavor.
Well,
But it is a delicious beverage.
yeah, they're both.
But they are distinctly different. And I'd had them both, but I'd never tried them, next
side
to each
by
other.
side. Well, we have one more. To
They're
try side by side.
they're both great. I love them both, but I am shocked how different they taste, though. I would say if you were going to have someone who's kind of new to tiki, I would definitely serve them the Beach Bum Berry rum blend mix before full on 34. This goes down easier.
I think it's definitely more accessible, and it doesn't have as much kick on it because it is
Definitely doesn't have as much kick.
Yeah, the alcohol is.
So you can
almost
make them a little
indiscernible.
quicker. You can definitely drink more of them in a night without losing yourself.
I do like it though. I like it a lot actually,
Yeah.
but it doesn't taste as complex and as full body as the 34.
No, it's definitely more one note.
Yeah. But then, yeah, when you think about it, I guess that kind of makes sense because you are literally you're replacing 3 rums with 1.
Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah,
much
but
of
it's a
it's. I
rum
don't know
blend.
how much of it's the rums that's making the difference.
Do you think it might be
I think
the
it's
proportions?
the proportions of the cinnamon is. I mean, it really just is. It's dominant here.
Well, so far, guys, we're all in agreement that the true 34 is the best so far.
I think so. I think
think so.
Yeah.
But I would definitely put this one in the arsenal and
no,
put it in the
if
rotation.
somebody served me this at the bar,
and if you're
I love it too.
I'd be fine. with
and if
this.
you're going to be serving multiple friends, unless you're going to try to pre-batch, which pre-batching a zombie, there's some trickiness to that.
Yeah.
As far as the ingredients that don't take as well just to pre-batching, like grapefruit and lime.
That's a great drink though.
Yeah. And
Well, let's try that BG Reynolds mix and see what happens.
And I do think it tastes like a zombie. It just
Oh, yeah.
does not. It tastes better than a zombie you would get at. It tastes more like a zombie than any zombie you would get outside of a tiki bar.
So the interesting thing for the third one now, we're going to use the BG Reynolds zombie mix.
And I'm just going to go by what's on the bottle for it.
Yeah, and that's literally going to be 3 ounces of the mix and 1.5 ounces of an overproof, and you're just going to use not for this one, not this rum, but the Hamilton 151.
Which was
Yeah.
the same overproof rum we used in the original 34.
All right, let's make it so.
Let's make it so. All right, Captain Picard. So this is the easiest zombie in the world to make.
This is a 2-ingredient zombie.
2 ingredients.
I threw a little mint on top just to make it prettier, but other than that, yeah, just 2 ingredients. So it's to make it double and split it 3 ways. It was 3 ounces of Hamilton 151 and 6 ounces of Zombie Punch.
That's it.
BG
And the
Reynolds
Zombie
Zombie
Punch,
Punch.
the original tiki drink, lime, grenadine, and secret spices. Pair with a potent rum for the finest tropical cocktail. Well, let's see if it holds up.
Let's see if it holds up.
Cheers.
Let's try it.
Okay, there we go.
Very sweet. My least favorite of the 3.
You know what's weird is you don't add any Pernod, but I get a strong flavor of Pernod.
Well, that might be the secret spices, right?
I get a strong flavor of Pernod on that. It's not not that it's bad, but it's emphasizing different parts of the zombie than what I like.
Yeah, absolutely. This is spicy, but not like cinnamon spicy.
No, there's definitely a lot going on. I think there's some cinnamon and like
But
you said, some
it definitely tastes
liquor
like
flavor as well.
tastes like a zombie,
Yes.
but it's got more of the flavor.
Yes, it does taste like a zombie. Well, it tastes more like a zombie how I know it.
Yeah. So I would definitely call it a zombie. But the fact that you're only using 2 ingredients plus ice plus a little bit of effort.
I like it.
So yeah, it's definitely got its place.
Actually, I think I like it. It's radically different than the other 2.
They are all distinctly different. All distinctly different.
Yeah.
But they definitely to me taste like cousins. Like there isn't one
Yeah,
that I go,
they're
this
like-
doesn't taste like a zombie.
Yeah, they're like kissing cousins. Right, Elvis? This definitely tastes unique compared to the other zombies.
Well, it tastes like it's made out of a syrup to me, and that's what it is.
Well, so if your preference
Is it the Pernod? What you're tasting?
I'm getting more Pernod and more sweet.
The black licorice.
Yeah, I'm getting the like a sweetened Pernod flavor is predominant for me.
Yeah.
Did I say fur? I must be getting tipsy.
It's definitely sweeter than the 34 by a long shot.
I'm surprised that these aren't as. I thought these would have been more spicier, more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think I'm picking up in this, and looking at it here does confirm it. It uses brown sugar, so it's got a bit of a molasses flavor to it.
Yeah, there you go.
The others
Okay.
do not have.
Okay. Sure.
Which is, like I said, it's not bad. But I think if I had my druthers, I'd take
because
the
the
other two
traditional
over
zombie
this.
doesn't use any simple syrup, but it uses cinnamon syrup, which has sugar in it, and it uses grenadine, which has or pomegranate syrup, which has sugar in it.
But the base of those are both simple syrups.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. I mean, in a pinch, say you got friends coming over.
Sure, it's easy, right?
I'd
Like you
highly
said,
recommend using this.
It's definitely drinkable, and it's absolutely easy, much easier than the
Although I would say,
that array of
As far as a zombie
Ingredients.
delivery system, it works.
yeah. But I think surprisingly, the smoothest one is the Hamilton Beach Bum Berry Mix Zombie.
I think
to me,
so.
this is the smoothest. This is the.
I think that's the most
easiest going.
drinkable. I think that if I had 2 or 3 of these, it's sweeter than my palate wants it to be.
Yeah, the BG Reynolds there's a bite to it. There's a definite bite to it. It's a spicy bite that it's like just like you said, like a combination of Pernod and.
To be perfectly honest, to me, it's more flavorful than I want a zombie to be.
right.
I want
agree.
a zombie to be more balanced and not jump out at different parts of my palate.
The
same
flavors
way.
are more intense in this for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah,
it's a delicious drink.
yeah.
So
I think the original, the 34, definitely has more of the citrus forward flavor.
Citrus forward.
Yeah, I think the citrus forward is what I'm getting. I'm getting
Well, yeah.
more of the lime than anything else. Obviously, like we've said, the cinnamon is the big player in the
the
Beach Bum Berry
Yeah.
blend recipe. But that could be an issue of the recipe. That's not necessarily an issue of the
now that said, the Beach Bum Berry recipe that's on there, you can tweak that a little bit to your taste.
Sure.
Maybe you want a little bit more lime. Maybe you want a little less cinnamon, and that's a matter of just making it at home. But that blend of rum, I think, is definitely a winner for making a zombie with, without having to, pick out 3 different rums.
I agree.
Yeah, I definitely think now that I ruminate on it, I think the molasses is the big difference for me in this.
So you can definitely taste the molasses.
Yeah, it's more earthy.
So guys, do you want to do a 4th one with the BG Reynolds mix and the Hamilton rum mix, or are we good?
Who are you talking to? Of course, we're going to do it.
You want to do it?
I'm willing.
Okay.
I'm willing. We can do that.
Okay. Bonus round.
Ding, ding, ding.
Bonus round, because our livers have not been challenged enough yet.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, the easy, in theory, this is gonna be the poor man's easiest way to do a zombie, trying to combine the best of both worlds. What we're gonna do is we're going to make the zombie using the BG Reynolds zombie mix, and then the good Hamilton zombie blend. Beach Bum Berry.
Right.
Okay, but
the
here's what I'm
pre-made
gonna
zombie
do.
blend of liquor.
Instead of the ounce and a half recommended
Yeah.
in the zombie punch for overproof, because that's not, it's above standard proof, but it's not quite to an overproof to what I would think of as an overproof. We'll use 2 ounces.
2 ounces. Okay.
So I'll use 4 ounces of that, and I will use 6 ounces of this, and we'll blend it up and see what happens.
Well,
that's what
well
we
no,
want
you're
right
going
now
to
is
use
more.
not this one.
Oh,
You're gonna,
No.
You're going to use the
You are
other
correct.
one.
We are
The
gonna
Beach
use-
Bum Berry mix.
I think it's going to be funny.
gonna
You
use
come
the
back
berry.
out, you're like,
Yeah.
wow, this tastes exactly the same as this one. The ultimate, easiest,
This is the Frankenstein of easy zombies.
the Frankenstein of easy zombies. We're going to use, again, using the 3 ounces of the BJ Reynolds Zombie Punch, and now 2 ounces.
2 ounces
Of the Beach Bum Berry.
Hamilton Beach Bum Berry zombie blend.
And I like how you actually finally put them in.
Yes, well, I
zombie
decided that we had to
glasses.
use actual zombie glasses, which are pretty much just fancied up Collins glasses.
And these
But
are all
by
the
Tony
artist.
Canepa.
The art on all these is our good old buddy Tony Canepa.
Beautiful. Well done.
So we got the
All
Killer Room,
Seattle
the
rep-
Aloha, and
Seattle
the Palm Court.
representing. We're pulling for this drink.
All
Let's
right.
try this, guys.
Let's see how it goes. Pretty much the same as the last. I mean, I
No.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't get the cinnamon.
Oh, no,
I don't
no,
get
no.
the cinnamon or Pernod as strong.
Okay.
try them side by
It's
side.
not quite as sweet.
Slightly different in the alcohol flavor.
I don't think it's nearly as sweet, and I don't get the Pernod nearly as strong.
Well, maybe you got a better mix than I did because mine are.
It all came out of the same.
They're pretty
the
much
same blender cup there, bud.
I know it did.
So all these were done with the stick blender, the countertop, cheap Hamilton Beach countertop stick blender,
Yeah.
because that's how the original zombies were made. That malt shake type blender. Because
Okay.
that's what bars used in the 1930s.
Okay, I'm gonna, guys. I love this.
Okay.
I really love it.
I think you're getting great qualities there.
This is getting more in line with what I think of when I think of a zombie.
So I think if you make a quick zombie, combining those two things is a great way to make a reasonably authentic, tasty zombie.
No, this one here is definitely now. The only difference is you use 2 ounces.
I used 2 ounces of the Beach Bum Berry blend.
But I'm guessing if you added an extra half ounce of the Hamilton 151 regular, that might have altered.
Might have, yeah. It would make it a much stronger drink too, because the proof on that is much higher.
Yeah, this is to
Well,
me. This tastes like a zombie.
Here's what we know about Ray.
Yeah,
Ray likes sweet stuff.
This
I
is
do.
true. So yeah, this guy is.
I do, but this doesn't taste sweet to me. This tastes spicy.
I definitely
And strong.
It's spicy,
Like
but
a
I mean,
zombie.
you can feel it in the texture.
So do you think
this is thicker? It's syrupy compared to the 34, which is
Do you think
More
there's
liquid.
Do you think there's a difference at all between that one and the last one we had?
it's mild. It's
Or is it pretty similar to you?
It's very similar to me. I mean, like I said, you can taste in the alcohol itself. The alcohol profile is slightly different, but as far as the
This is smooth. This feels more balanced than this one. Than the other BJ Reynolds one.
So yeah, the ounce and a half
Well-
of 151, I don't think was
I-
nearly as dynamic.
I would say this: if I was to serve this one with the original 151 as made, I would feel way more confident serving this to someone.
I think so.
How would you rank these guys, Joel? What do you think?
For me, basically, I think probably the order that we got them in. The original.
Oh, okay.
I think the original stands out far and away to me.
Yeah.
Again, more citrus forward. That's what I prefer. I like this. I think the flavor is best in the original.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of cinnamon, so the other the number 2 that we did with the slightly revised ingredient list and the Hamilton mix number 2, I think.
Okay.
And the other 2, frankly, like I said before, to me they're more or less interchangeable.
They're kind of the same.
They're kind of the same.
Okay.
And like I said, that's not to say that they're bad, because like I said, they're all fantastic. If anybody handed me one of these to drink, I'd happily drink them. They're all very good drinks.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah,
Jason.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, 4, 3 because
Do that because I'm too drunk to understand what you just said.
I think using the 2 ounces of the Beach Bum Berry Hamilton Zombie Blend.
Yep.
I think the 2 ounces of that made enough difference for me to notice it between that and just using the BG Reynolds syrup.
Yep.
The BG Reynolds syrup, from my palate, is a little on the sweet side, and the flavor of Pernod is a little bit stronger than I want it to be.
Yeah.
It's not that it's a bad drink. I still enjoy it as a drink, but trying to compare it as a zombie. The 1934, with the additional efforts, the additional ceremony and making the thing and all that, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
But you don't always want to do that, and if you want to make a good drink, there are other good drinks you can make.
I agree. So how I'm going to go is you can't beat the original.
Yeah.
A true 34 zombie. But I think I actually like this zombie, the last one, the mix of the BG Reynolds syrup and the Beach Bum Berry rum blend, because I do like things just a little sweeter. Mm-hmm. And this, I do like this. I do like the spice.
The spice is good.
So yeah.
This one, the second one, is great, but it's just a little too smooth when I think of a zombie. Because I do want to have a bite when I'm drinking a zombie. It's a little too smooth. And then the last one, I think there could be room for improvement with this. I think if you actually add 2 ounces,
I think it needs to be lengthened. I think it's just the syrup is a little bit too strong.
I think the syrup's
unless
too
you
forward.
lengthen it with maybe a little bit more ice. Maybe I don't know. Maybe add a little grapefruit juice to it.
Some additional citrus.
Something.
It would
something.
benefit it all.
Something more
Yeah.
to it. Otherwise, I think it tastes a little bit like a zombie that got too much simple syrup and got maybe too much Pernod in it.
I think in this one, number 3, the syrup overpowers the rum. But when you did with the rum blend,
Yeah.
and added 2 ounces of rum, I definitely
So
think
that
it
half ounce
balanced
of
it out.
rum lengthened it.
Absolutely.
Even though it's a weaker rum, it's a 151 down to a 118.
But I would say, I mean, to the audience out there, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them. And I'll be honest with you, like
They all make a delicious drink.
They all
really
make a
do.
delicious drink. And to me personally, I don't have. Well, first of all, I don't even have all the ingredients to make a 34 at home,
Right.
and I don't have the patience to do it. So I'll tell you what. I mean, like to get a bottle of the BG, it was like $16 or something like that.
For
Like
a-
that and 2 ounces of a really, if you can get the Hamilton Zombie blend, go for it.
Yeah, which
And
I
there you
had to
go.
I had to get mine in Florida and take it back in a suitcase.
But
I've
can't get it
made
out
this
here.
I've made this with OFTD, and I've done it with 2 ounces of rum.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think it says 1.5 ounces. People out there, if you're going to use this, use 2 ounces of a rum. I
Right.
think.
So hey, you want to do one more? We'll do 2 ounces
No,
of TD.
No.
Thank you guys. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
This has been a good time,
it's been too long since we've had you on the show.
and we're not done. We're going to be about at least a third again, if not twice as snockered by the time we finish these. We might be here a while.
Yeah. The world of Tiki is vast.
Where'd that come from? What does that mean?